Hello and welcome to this mini video series, Grief Hurts. I am so pleased to see that we are now more open to having conversations and education surrounding this topic, one that will directly or indirectly affect each of us at some point. Dealing with loss is never easy, but it is important for us to acknowledge and to understand the painful emotions that come with grief. So, if you're going through a tough time right now, or if you are supporting someone who is, this mini video series is for you. So, again, welcome. Who am I to chat about grief? Hello, I'm Dora Carpenter, founder of the Institute of Professional Grief Coaching, or IOPGC, where we train and certify grief coaches and offer grief wellness programs to small businesses. At IOPGC, we are not counselors, therapists, or mental health professionals. We do not diagnose, treat, or attempt to fix grief. As grief coaches, we offer a heart centered and compassion led non therapeutic methodology to help individuals move from pain to peace, heartbreak to happiness, and grief to gratitude in the shortest time possible. How did I land in this profession? Working many years in the death care industry, that means the cemetery and the funeral home, and assisting hundreds of families before, during, and after losing a loved one. You see, I realized that grieving individuals needed more help, more support after the services were over than they needed when they were sitting with me at the table making those final arrangements. They needed more help when the services were over, when friends and family returned to their daily routines, when the house became quiet, the phone, the text messages ceased, and when the reality of the death actually set in. I knew that we had to do more, and even today, we still must do more. You see, grief hurts, and it should not and it cannot be ignored. Well, enough about me. What about you? Why are you here? The first segment of this mini video series addresses what is grief anyway? Although resulting in profound effects, the definition of grief is quite simple. Grief is the normal and natural response to loss. That's it. The normal and natural response to loss. But it is important for us to recognize that grief is a unique experience for each of us. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, and it's okay for you to feel a mix of emotions. You see, grief is a universal experience. It doesn't discriminate based on age, gender, cause, background, nationality, religion, sexual preference. At IOPGC, we focus on the loss of a loved one, but the complex and the multifaceted emotional response to loss can come in so many forms. Let's look at the huge spectrum of loss. I like to use the analogy of the tree, what I call the grief tree. Think about those deep seated, hidden roots of the tree, hidden beneath the surface that we can't see in most cases. To me, those roots represent the many faces or forms of grief: death, relationship, finances, home, health, possessions, loss of self, loss due to separation, divorce, empty nest, loss of family, friendships, loss of a job, a career, a marriage, loss due to miscarriage, stillborn, murder, suicide, accident, loss of dreams, loss of self confidence, independence, loss due to retirement, change, loss of a pet, loss due to aging, illness, loss of respect, childhood, security, provision, seniority, loss of happiness, loss of children, loss due to relocation, depression, terrorism, weather conditions, loss of hope, loss due to Alzheimer's, cancer, dementia, alcoholism, disaster, trauma, misfortune, alienation, abandonment, and so much more that you might be able to relate to. The huge spectrum of loss. Now, still thinking of the grief tree, let's look at the broad, heavy, sturdy trunk of the tree. To me, this is where we harbor all of those painful emotions resulting from the loss or the roots of the tree. Understanding grief involves acknowledging that it's more than just shedding tears. Grief hurts. It's a heavy emotional and even physical experience that can impact various aspects of our lives. So it's crucial for us to recognize that grief doesn't follow a specific timeline. Remember, there's no standard operating procedure or SOP for grief, and everyone copes differently. Just like we have our own unique DNA, our own unique fingerprint, our own unique personality. Some may openly express their emotions, while others might internalize their feelings. Some may find solace in being surrounded by others, while others might need moments of solitude to process it all. As we navigate through what I call the wilderness of grief, it is essential to avoid judgment. And this is both self judgment and judgment from others. It's not a sign of weakness to grieve, and please know it is not selfish to grieve. There's no predetermined time frame for moving beyond the grief. Yes, there are going to be some crooked paths, some dead ends, some wrong turns, but it's a process. It's a journey of self discovery, of self compassion, and of finding your own personal pathway to reaching the other side of your grief journey. So please be kind, gentle, and patient with yourself along the way. And please also reach out for help, reach out for support. You don't have to travel alone. So, whether you're currently experiencing grief or you're supporting someone who is, remember, grief is a natural part of the human experience. And it's okay to acknowledge and embrace the emotions that come with it. The initial module of our From Grief to Gratitude coaching program is simply this: give yourself permission to grieve. And in the next segments of this mini series, we'll delve deeper into the physical and the emotional impact of grief, and we'll explore some coaching tools or techniques with this challenging phase of life, but also this universal aspect of life. Stay tuned, and I will see you soon. Bye bye for now.